Hi, SHC tutors. Today I wanted to talk about the reading skills stories that is part of Teach ABC English. I wanted to talk about how you can use these stories to teach your ABC friends. I chose a story that looked kind of interesting to me called Visiting a Friend. Before you were to do any of the work with your tutee, I would want for you, or I would suggest that you look at this picture together and have your tutee describe what she sees. Also reading the title, Visiting a Friend. In this way, you're activating background information and experiences so that it is easier for your tutee to sort of connect more personally with the story. And also, you're encouraging her to use any of the English vocabulary that he or she may already have, which will be important as you read. So, the author of this series actually has students reading next. I personally prefer to look at vocabulary words, so I probably wouldn't read right away. I probably would look at the vocabulary words next before reading. But since the author of this series has listed it this way, then this is the way we'll do it. So I would read first if that is my suggestion. I would read each of these sentences first to be a model for your tutee of native English speaking. And then I would have your tutee read the passages several times. I would check to see if there were words, especially words that your tutee was struggling to read, that may seem unfamiliar, like country or language or problems. And I would give more definitions of those words or pictures to try to help with comprehension. So after your tutee reads several times with support, then you could do the comprehension questions together. Most of our low-level students, especially those who have had limited education, are unfamiliar with referring back to written text in order to find information. It's an academic skill, and so it's really important that you help your tutee to be able to locate important information in the text. So let's look at number one. Are they from the same country? I would ask your student that question. Are they from the same country? Maybe they know the answer, and I'd say, where do you see that information? Where is it in our story? If they're not really sure, then I would point them at number one and say, could you read number one again? What does it say? And then they'd say, oh, they are from the same country. And maybe you could even circle that the phrase same country or something like that so they can see where they got the answer. And then when you complete all the questions, the author then has you read the sight words together. And of course, sight words are high frequency words that are not as common, or that are, sorry, very commonly used in English. So these words don't generally follow spelling patterns that well, and they're just good words for our students to practice and try to remember. Then the author has you teaching word families or spelling patterns. And each of these words has a nice picture to go with it, which is really great for increasing vocabulary as well. So you can use the hand gesture if you'd like to teach a sound, and then have the student read the words with you, probably read them first, and then have your students repeat them, and then have them try reading the words to the right on their own with this spelling pattern that you just taught them. And you can go through all of the word families. Then you can teach syllables. So breaking larger words into syllables really helps with decoding. It'll help your student be able to read a lot better, especially if they can recognize the spelling patterns in each syllable. They can draw the boxes around the words to try to find the syllables by sounding out each word. And then they can do adding the missing syllables, letters for each syllable if you want. They can do word patterns after that. So the nice thing about word patterns is finding commonalities that help with reading, decoding. So we have our root word visit, and then this, a suffix ing, so that would help visit, visiting. And we have our prefix to on both of these. So you can start to see patterns that help them to recognize patterns as they read more independently. And then they need to find the word that goes with the definition. So Canada and Mexico are two, and they would have to identify the word countries. And lastly, you can read the story again, but what's nice about presenting the story like this is more natural prose. This is how they would find writing in books and on papers, not as you saw earlier with numbers. This is helpful for reading, especially in the beginning, but it is not natural, and it's not what they're going to see when they encounter prose in their everyday lives. So this is a really nice format. Also with this format, it would be really helpful for you to teach them more natural style reading. So we're going to be chunking. So our students have a tendency to read like this. They are from the same country. And of course that's related to fluency and decoding, how easily they are able to read words and read quickly. But here it's a good opportunity to work on more natural reading. So have them repeat after you first. They are from the same country. Have them say it just like that right after you. They are from the same country. They speak the same language. Have them repeat. And go through the whole paragraph like that, and then see if they can do it more independently with chunking. This is one way to teach this information to your students. And like I said, I probably would focus on vocabulary first if it were my classroom, but since this is how it's presented, it's also a nice way to do it.